play here. And let's see. Okay, I believe we are on Rafa. Okay, we are live.
All right.
Hi, Rafaelle.
Hello, Jen.
Nice to have you with us.
Nice to be here.
Awesome.
There, everywhere.
Here, everywhere in the Facebook group. So we are live streaming on our Facebook platform, The Authentic Woman You Are. Hi, everybody. So welcome to this weekly live. Today we have a special broadcast with Rafaelle Mackay. Very happy to have her with us today. We'll have a Q&A period, short period of question at the end. If ever you have questions, just feel free to post them underneath the Facebook post and we'll be able to see them, and then we'll have some space for her to answer if you have some questions for her. So I'm very happy to have her with us. I met Rafaelle about 10 years ago, and I went to actually see her for a sound and massage therapy session. That's how we met, and then I chose to have Rafaelle on our show because I really believe in the gifts that she brings to the world, her voice, and the spaces that she offers to people for them to reconnect to their inner voice and the power of also their instrument, which she loves calling their human instrument, right? So, and she's living a very authentic life based on her gifts. So I'm very inspired to ask all those questions to her today and to have her share with you what she wants to be sharing. So let's see what comes up today for all of us. And I'll introduce you, Raf. So Rafaelle is a vocalist, a composer, a musical director, a therapeutic musician, and workshop leader, inspired by a deep inner connection to the power of the human voice. She has dedicated herself to sharing her journey, explorations, and the treasures of this fine instrument. As a vocalist, she invites her audience to connect to their own inner worlds through her meditative concert series. She also gave birth and is the creatrix of the project called Human Instrument. And you can share about this also, Raf, when you want. And you lead transformational meditation and voice retreats alongside singing with multiple local and international DJs of various styles. So if you want to add something to what I just read through, you're more than welcome. And then we'll go through a series of questions and flow with this.
Sure. Yeah, Human Instrument as a show was presented at La Sat in a big dome. It was definitely a dream come true. And now I'm working on the kind of transition from that project into a project called Voices of Water, and really focusing on cymatics and our voice and how water and vibration is seen and felt. And so it's really fascinating what we discovered in Human Instrument as the show, and where the exploration is going now with the research. And so who knows when this project will be shown and how, but yeah, it's like ever growing. Yeah.
Nice. So let's start with the main theme of the group, the platform, which is authenticity, really. So allow us to enter your world of authenticity and maybe define or like let us know what authenticity is from your perspective.
Well, for me, improvisation, vocal improvisation, is my total passion. So really, that to me is about being in the moment, being present, really listening to what is here and now, and allowing the voice to just follow the thread of what is being heard and channeled or responding to. And so for me, in that exploration of improvisation, I really find that that's where authenticity comes to meet, because who we are and our voice, everybody has a really unique voice, even though there's so many people that feel like they can't sing, they've been told they can't sing. There's many stories behind those kind of, oh, I can't sing, or I've been told I can't sing. But really and truly, every being has a voice, and so and an authentic voice. So how we translate what we hear is our authenticity. And so with music and with singing, it's our listening ability as strong as our how we reproduce the sounds that we hear. And so it's really interesting that that weaving of our own authenticity. That makes
Mm. It does make sense, and it's like one question came to me when you were speaking, which is, do you feel that, you know, the more us, and now we are in a group of women, let's say, that the more we are connected to this authentic voice, authentic sound inside ourselves, that we it guides us to live a more authentic life and also a more true life. Like our choices are impacted by the fact that we are connecting more toward that authentic voice, that vibration that you speak about.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, I have many students that tell me through discovering their authentic voice, it gives them courage, and so that can really bring in courage to different decisions, thinking differently of our lives, and so, and then just being more true to, you know, not mimicking another, but really finding what that true voice and what your true vibrations and how you feel within, how that can guide you as you know, a true guidance instead of, you know, we learn so much about of mimicking, and so that's part of how we learn, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how we can share, and that's how we learn from each other, and how much fun that can be also. But within that, what, you know, within that, what is our individual voice, and I feel like in that discovery, yeah, people feel more empowered of that. Oh, wow, I can actually make these moves without, you know, knowing the truth within myself.
Mm-hmm. And and this is something that you experience personally too, right? That like connecting to that inner source of voice, it really propels you into improvising through life.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, you know, sometimes decision making is not my forte,
Yeah.
but I, you know, through the process, you learn to trust what is, and for sure, many friends know from me, singing is that place of freedom, whereas
Mm-hmm.
speaking is another form, which I'm, you know, over time of teaching and holding space, I'm more and more comfortable with it. But as I've learned through my studies with in hospitals and different kinds of patients, like we have one side of our brain that's singing and one side of our brain that's speaking. So if you have a stroke, let's say, and you can't speak, you can still sing. So there's something really interesting about that. So for me, I can sing infinitely and feel comfortable, and speaking is, yeah, one of those really,
Mm-hmm.
interesting
It's interesting,
learning curves.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the human body is fascinating. It's fascinating, which, you know, brings us to the title of our interview, which is, you know, it's a our body a human instrument to our authentic voice. So let's speak a little bit about what this title inspires in you and what you feel like sharing about the human instrument, our body, and the importance of being connected to our body for our sound to come
Yeah.
out.
Well, this is our instrument as a vocalist, as you know, even a speaker. Um, the more that we're connected to our body and grounded into our body, we can have easier access to our voice. And so that's what inspires me always to say our human instrument, because there are many instruments, pianos, cellos, that are incredible to play and that can vibrate with us. So it's a relationship kind of exterior. But as a singer, you have this relationship with your inner vibration. And, and like any instrument, it depends on the weather, it depends on the humidity, about dryness. And with our human instrument, it depends on our emotional reality, what happened to us that day, that can affect even the pitch of our voice, how we're holding our voice, the alignment of our voice. And so it's really this amazing exploration of our body, our inner alignment, our connection to our chakra system, to our energy, our emotional reality, of how we can channel all of this into our voice and use it. And oftentimes, like when I was a kid and even starting to perform, sometimes I would just start to cry because it was so vulnerable to sing and just to show this rawness of who I am, and really just to show up to that place of just being seen. And and just so I encourage people to use that, even if you're feeling those emotions. How can you bring your voice into expressing that? If there's a painful day, what is that? You know, there's so much beautiful music made out of that sorrow, you know, and then through that, it's kind of like an alchemization. No, that's the word.
Yeah.
To use that pain and into that beauty, you know. And so there's just there's such a power into how our emotions play and how that affects our music, you know. So there's, yeah, there's a lot to be said. But so my way of thinking is, the more that we're in our body, the more that we sense our body, that we're more that we're aware of all the sensations in our body, the more that we have true access to the range of our voice, the qualities of our voice, the immensity of, um, of yeah, quality and vocabulary, and the less fear, well, even fear can be brought in, but the more that we can really even tap into ancestral memory in our body, then that also brings out a interest, a beautiful music that's so deep, that is really unique to each person.
And I feel you through the voice that you are communicating here with us. Like I feel the depth that it brings. It's very touching. So thanks for sharing your medicine with us. And the question is arising right now, which is, you know, the body as an instrument. Do you have some tips for the audience, you know, to maintain the body as an instrument of voice and as an instrument of healing, as an instrument of transformation? Like what, and you can give examples that you do too, you know, like of how do you maintain this vessel, this temple that we live in, this instrument?
Breathing is the essential thing. How we breathe. Sometimes we forget to breathe. We're holding our bodies because we're stressed out. I know for me right now, I'm a little stressed out in my life in general, and just watching. Wow, I need to breathe deeper. I need to connect deeper, and so it can be such a simple thing of like breathe, you know, just breathe. But how we breathe, how we can breathe with our full body. You know, we have different diaphragms. We just hear about the diaphragm in the middle of our body, but there's um, 3 to 4 different kinds of diaphragms that are important to really connect, so we can have a full body breath, and so then that we can really find that whole can breathe in our whole vessel. And so that's number one. Number two is to, I always say, ground in. It's like we're this tree that's this, you know, this living body tree that needs the roots as much as the branches. So connecting is deeply down into your roots, and so you're able to expand out and expand and expand and expand. But without those roots, this will be thin. And so oftentimes when we sing, we get lightheaded and we're reaching up and we're trying, you know, not trying, but we are just kind of flying, and it's a beautiful sensation. But I'm always saying like we're like a rooted wingdom. So it's like we're rooting into our wingspan. And with
Mm,
that, we can really just keep growing and growing and growing with our voice and with our breath.
mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm having shivers. It's like I'm very touched, Raf, by everything that you're sharing. Like I feel the vibration in my own body, and it awakes through whatever you're sharing. So I really want to thank you already for everything that you're sharing. And it brings me to the importance of roots, which you just spoke about, and the importance of us as women to connect to our wombs and
Hmm.
the diaphragm of the womb, and like the breath of the pelvic floor,
Yeah.
and to own up and to to receive our own power, our innate power, our primal power. So let's speak into this, and let's also be raw if we need to be raw, and like whatever needs to be channeled through you right now to allow us to receive that medicine coming from the womb, which I
Mm-hmm.
know you work a lot with the womb too. We spoke a bit about it. So
Well, that's for sure. Our womb, our dantian, our place of fire, power as women and men, even. Um, there's just such a vastness when we go into this amazing space that we all, as women, have. And I don't have children, but I know that, this is a place of creation, of incredible magic that we hold. And also at the same time, this vast void, and we say sometimes we can think of void as a negative, but I just heard a quote that I thought was really interesting, beautiful, was that the void is not just empty space, it's actually the space of divine. And so that again expansive space of our womb, that's just really incredible. And really with our voice, that's where we sing from. It's like our guttural, it's even primal, connected to our sexuality, and that sexuality is such a creative power. And so when we're connected to this area, that's really what I find where our true voice can come through. That well, like our heart and all the other places in our body, but also our womb, you can't really fake it. So the more that you're connecting into that breath and into that pelvic floor and into that sexual fire energy and even that amazing yin void energy, there's such a huge potential power to express. And so to make that connection from the womb to the voice is also a journey, but it's also just like right there, throw out the mind. I would say, like, let the mind just sit out for a while, and let's
yeah,
breathe, and let's just allow our voice to express from our womb area and see what comes through. And that can be, guttural and screaming and primal and beautiful, and allowing that wild woman to have her place, and then from there finding her song, and so it's yeah, it's a an important aspect to finding your voice, for sure, to connect to your womb.
yeah, and I feel the journey that comes from it, from the connection to your womb, to your voice, and to allowing the fears to dissipate in the mind, and like owning up and really grounding into the authentic women that we are, like just who are we? Like, what are we born for? What is this instrument made for? What's the gift being channeled through? Like, I really hear all of this through what you're sharing, and and you'll speak into this a little bit, but it's acknowledging that the journey comes with challenges, and that really owning up to this power as women comes with challenges. Like, it's not always easy to stand and to allow this truth to vibrate, and to stand in what we can call our gifts or our light. So I would love to hear, like, you on your path, what kind of challenges as a woman might have you encountered, as you were being seen, being more seen in your voice, and appearing more in public with your voice, and that message through sound.
Well, shyness is one of my bane of existence. Since I was a kid, I was so shy, um, but I loved my sacred space was singing. So that was like my place of freedom.
Mm,
Even when I was a kid, I mean, a really young kid, like 2 or 3, my mother always said that I was always singing, always, always. Wherever I was, I would be singing in the plane, and I was so, then shyness came right after that through, who knows, all the other
mm,
sequences of life, and it's definitely followed me through everything, and even in performance. I mean, it's just like how much energies had to centering I've had to find to be able just to step on stage in front of people, and yeah, so I think that's one of my main one, and that's why sorry, that's why also when I hold groups and there's so many people facing that shyness, that deep shyness, I can have fun with it because I know how much that feels, and to how to hold a safe and sacred space for people to really feel comfortable to really explore that space in them,
Yeah.
because I can relate to that. Um, yeah, so I would say that that's the main one with music and with, you know, even just being in different, I don't know why I'm coughing, but different
Voice.
um, is, yeah, different like scenarios with different kinds of musicians, and so always having to find that courage to just be like, okay, I'm gonna use, gonna show up with my voice, and like I'm going all over the place, but I know as a child I really found my voice as kind of my best friend, and
Mm,
so finding that relationship with my voice as like a companion, and
mm,
so just really, yeah, finding that feeling that I'm not alone,
yeah.
and that my voice was, yeah, also my connection to something bigger than me. It was, when I started to sing, and even still now, I forget Raphael. I sometimes, I'm singing and people are looking at me, and I, I sometimes can't relate.
Yeah.
So I just look like I'm, out of it or something, but I'm just really in another space. And I, for me, it's a kind of a relief to like let Raphael aside, and my voice and the connection of divine and whatever else is around, to guide that voice, and
Mm.
so I don't know if I'm answering your question. I'm just kind of going with what's inspiring me.
Yeah, perfect. It's really we're flowing and weaving here, and what it inspires me to ask you right now is also like the different elements that inspire you when you sing, and what's with you when you sing. You speak about the divine, and you spoke about the water, and I know you were speaking about, like the connection to nature and the sounds of nature. So like what how does it move through your body? How like it's beautiful that you put what you named about putting yourself aside, and you're just a channel
Yeah.
for divine connection, right? So yeah, speak a bit more about nature and the power of nature through your body.
Well, I mean, whoever's listening probably agrees, is there's no separation. Like we're not separate of nature, human, animal, plant. We're all interconnected. And so, yeah, I've chosen to live in nature, to be able to resource even more, to be able to hold, to be able to give and to hold space for myself, for others, and create music, um, with surrounding of the elements. And I just feel like it's obvious what I will say, but it's just all the elements: water, fire, earth, air, ethereal, wood. All of it is, you know, it, we work with it, and I think that it's just, they're allies. And
Mm,
so, I feel like, sing, we can say that maybe it's pretentious to say that when I sing I'm connected to the divine, but it just feels like I said, beyond the Raphael. And I really, I feel like part of the mission that I have in music is to sing for nature, is to bring her a voice, and so that's
mm,
why Voices of Water, also my next project, um, feels so connected to where I'm at. Is I feel like the water really needs our voice, and there's so many beautiful songs to honor the water, and water is the essential reality of what keeps us alive, and nature, without her we're not going to be here. And so it feels just that kind of urgency to speak for her, and speak through her, and speak for her, and so that's just the, yeah, just feels the most natural mission, as as I can feel. It's just the most thing that makes sense to me as a human being on this planet,
mm.
is to have, to be one of her voices.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. Is there something you would like to add before we introduce the free gift, which is totally in link with what you just named about the water and stuff? But I mean, before, is there something, or I mean, we can introduce the free gift now since it's so linked,
Yeah.
and then we can see what weaves out of this. So the title of it's a healing song that you're offering the audience called Nibi, right? So like speak a bit about what this healing song is, and what this word Nibi means. And
Yeah, sure. Well, Nibi means water in Ojibwe, and there, this was a song created for Human Instrument Part 2, actually for more of a tour version that unfortunately didn't fell through. And so so it's really a song that was made for spatialized sound. So it's going to be different just as an MP3, just kind of coming out of your computer. But in Human Instrument, in this stratosphere, this huge dome, it had more than 150 speakers around surround sound. And so it was composed to be a surround sound
mm,
song. So and so the vision throughout that whole show, and still, is just honoring the waters and how we feel the waters within our
mm,
body. I mean, we are, some say 75 to 85% water, and so just creating music to evoke that's those movements of water, and so to feel that inside, outside. So this song was created with that in feeling and in mind. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, really looking forward to listen to it. And I will post, the link is already on the Facebook group as a title. So you go through Rafaelle's website under contact, and you send her a message. She'll be sending you the MP3 by email, right? Correct. And then I'll also put it in the comment box underneath the video. And talking about this, I will go check right now if we have some comments, and if there's some questions for you. Real quickly. Okay, there we have some comments here. Let's see. Okay, so I have its comments. So beautiful and inspiring. Thank you for sharing yourself, Rafaelle. Coming from Celine and Sarah Lam. Beautiful, Rafaelle, and Maya is here with us, sending many hearts. So it's nice to have you all with us. It's so sweet to be in this container and share and receive Rafaelle's gift, and the wisdom that's being channeled through her right now in this container. It's super, super nice. So Rafael, we're getting to the end of our encounter, heart-to-heart meeting, whatever we want to call it. If you have some words to finish, to wrap up, then we can end with this.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. Really appreciate it, and thanks for everybody watching, listening. Um, I encourage everybody just to sing, breathe, especially in these really crazy times that we're all living. I know that for me, it really helps just to even hum and get the circulation going through the body. Dancing, of course, if we can, but sometimes just humming and taking those deep breaths, and just especially in face of stressful situations, if we're in those lines and we know we're putting on the mask and whatever, I don't want to get into that, but just that there's ways to sing it, breathe it, move it through, and that we're all together in this. And yeah, I just feel like the voice really connects, and the more that we share, the more we speak, the more that we sing, the more that we can keep that circulation within and with each other. It's just more and more we can just shed our light and be the stars that we are. So thank you so much. Really appreciate
Thank you. Yay. So let's all sing our lives
it. Yes.
and walk our gifts and dance our voices. And thank you so much for being with us. It's a gift to have you with us. And thanks again, everybody, for watching and being on this authentic woman journey as it unfolds, being very curious of every step that's being taken with guidance and intention. So go ahead and grab that song from Rafaelle, and we'll see you soon on that live broadcast. Every week we show up at 12 p.m. Eastern time with different subjects, and we invite people about once per month to speak their gifts out. So with all my heart, deep blessings, and thanks again, Rafaelle, for being here.
Much. Thank you.